Hello, foolish mortals. Gather, if you dare. Welcome to Skincare with a Scare. I'll read spooky tales from the internet's lair while giving my skin some killer care. Hello, everyone. If you couldn't tell from my rhyme, this is Skincare with a Scare. My name is Kaylee Long and I'm all about the spooky, the funny, and the weird. And welcome to my new series, Skincare with a Scare, where I'm gonna touch my face and read scary stories off the internet. I hope you like it. Please like and subscribe because it really does help my channel out, and I'll get right into it. Today we're going to be reading some stories under what's your most terrifying experience living in a haunted house / apartment. Goodbye makeup, because you can't do skincare with makeup. No, I feel like I look like Anne Boleyn. You know those things that in the old days, like Renaissance Europe, women used to wear in their hair. That's what I feel like. Okay, personally, I've never lived in a haunted house or a haunted apartment. I don't think I've ever actually, I don't think I've ever actually really seen a ghost. Like, here's my thing. I like to look at the spooky from the safety of my TV or my phone, but to really be in the spook, now that's, I don't know if I can handle that. I really don't know, because I'm a baby. Like, okay, in theory, I could handle it. I could handle it. Do I have stuff all over my face? Of course I do. Yeah, like in theory, I think I can handle it. But in theory, I don't think I can handle it. I'm looking forward to seeing like how people handle it, what they have to say, what they've seen. Yeah, I don't know. You know, fight or flight? I think flight would kick in. Or like I would just freeze. Cause okay, now that most of my makeup is off, I'm gonna give my face a quick little wash and then we're gonna get into it. I'm clean. Let's go. What is your most terrifying experience living in a haunted house / apartment? As a teen who was now the only kid in the house after my brother left for college, I was laying in my bed one night singing. I heard someone shush me just outside of my bedroom door. My parents were sleeping downstairs. I stopped for a moment, then I figured I was hearing things and continued. Then a definite adult voice outside my door said, "Shut up." I spent the rest of the night with my head under the covers, afraid to move. It wasn't a secret that our house was haunted. When my mom and dad first moved in, my mom stayed in the home alone and slept in one of the upstairs bedroom while my dad worked at night. She would hear someone walking up the stairs and would sit at the edge of the bed with a handgun. She kept one then, but no one ever came up the stairs. She would hang my dad's jeans on the clothesline and they disappear, only to be folded up in the baby's crib later. She was pregnant with my brother. When my brother was just old enough to talk, he'd giggle in his crib and tell my mom, "She's tickling me." Once, while I was swinging on one of our clothesline swings as a young teen, something caught me in mid-swing. That felt like a hand on my shoulder from behind and held me there. Once, I stood at the bottom of the stairs listening to someone loudly snoring in my bedroom, while absolutely no one was upstairs. A scrawled message once appeared in pencil on the basement. I'm getting a little scared. A scrawled message once appeared in pencil on our basement wall that read, "Goodbye. I have to go now." This was all in the 70s to 90s. My parents moved out of there in the early odds. That seems like a lot of shit. That seems like a lot happening. Yeah, the comments are funny. The shushing and the shut up. Yeah! If someone told me to shut up while I was singing, how wild. How rude! Fuck you, ghost. Loner Stoner writes, my house growing up was super haunted, so I had a lot of experiences. But this was the absolute scariest. There was a dark shadow up on the ceiling in the okay, hold on, okay. There was a dark shadow up on the ceiling in an upstairs bedroom that was usually in the corners. It wasn't there constantly, but I would see it regularly enough that I knew it was there. I would pretend that I didn't notice, and it usually went away. One night, when I was about 16, I was laying down there in the dark, and I watched it float over above me, and it suddenly whooshed down through me, or maybe went into me. I'm not sure. I screamed bloody murder, ran out of the room, collapsed in the hallway right outside the door, and I was curled up in a fetal position, still screaming. It took my mom hours to calm me down. I'm pretty sure I slept with her the rest of the night. I think a shadow is so scary because you just don't know. You just don't know. Okay, Filio15 writes, the house that my wife and I moved out of 2 years ago this month was maybe the most active place I've ever lived. Everything kicked up tenfold once our daughter was born. Shit. One morning, my wife was talking to me before I left for work, and 3 of the 4 toys hanging from our daughter's playmat started swinging in unison, constantly coming home to cabinet doors and bedroom doors being open. Our car alarm started going off one night in a locked garage. I went and investigated, just to find nothing. Once I came back into the house, the alarms went off again. Had to disconnect the batteries to keep it from happening. Went to bed one night, felt something applying a lot of pressure to the side of the bed next to me. Initially thought it was our cat, but he never gets on that side. I got goosebumps pretty bad and the chills. I said, man, fucking stop, dude. Pulled the blankets up more and scooted to the middle of the bed. Felt to do the same thing again. This time, it felt like it was on hands and knees on the bed. We'd see a silhouette walking back and forth in our guest room, so we covered the door with a blanket. My mother-in-law came to spend the weekend a few days later, since our daughter was only about a week old. Told the wife not to say a word about what we'd seen and heard in that room to see if we're crazy. I came home that Sunday from work, and the mother-in-law looked at me and said, "You son of a bitch." It got in bed with me. Told the wife, see? Told you I'm not fucking crazy. A few weeks later, I'm in the living room around 10 to 11 p.m. and felt something staring at me. I look to my left, and clear as day, I see a face. Oh! I gotta film these during the day. I see a face that quickly ducked its head behind the doorframe. I said, "Fuck that," and went to bed. About 2 minutes later, our daughter is screaming. I clicked record on my phone and held it out in front of me. Ran to grab our daughter and took her to our room. Shit like that happened constantly for 3 years. I spoke to who lives there now to see if it was just us or the house. They said they experienced a lot of the same things we did. I think that's crazy that the mother-in-law was like, it got in bed with me, cause like, fuck that. Oh my gosh. Top comment says, "Oh no, no, no. Fuck all that." Yeah. Oh, also the face. What did the face look like? Nah, man. No, thank you. Okay, I must say, look at these cutesy little eye patches I got. They're candy corn. Saba Rocks writes, lived in an apartment where a lot of creepy, unexplained stuff started happening. One night, I jolted awake in the middle of the night and saw a transparent figure at the foot of my bed. Across from my bed was a dresser with a mirror attached to it, and the figure was not reflected in the mirror. I told myself, nope. I'm not seeing this. I must still be dreaming. Rolled over onto my stomach and pulled the covers over my head. Seconds later, the whole bed started to shake as if someone was shoving against it at the foot of the bed. It was hard enough to make the very large and heavy wood headboard bang against the wall. It went on for several minutes, then stopped abruptly. I was too scared at that point to look and see if the figure was gone. I spent the whole night hiding under the covers like a little kid. Later found out my husband at the time had been playing around with summoning rituals using the mirror on the dresser across from the bed. He worked the third shift, so he was never home at night when all the weird shit would happen in the apartment. I kept the mirror covered every night after that incident. Never had anything else happen. You know, I've heard that, like if you put blankets over mirrors, because mirrors are apparently portals, as I'm looking at a mirror right now and I'm like, no. Yeah, I had a friend who religiously would put blankets over all of her mirrors every night, so. Also, like, that husband, fuck you. Why are you summoning stuff? That's why, like, I will look at this stuff from afar, but I'll never partake, because when you call out, everything hears you. I think that's an Insidious quote. Honest Sugar 1492 writes, I have lived in several haunted homes. I don't get scared by it. However, one place was different. There always is, isn't it? After numerous incidents of paranormal activity in the home, dishes jumping onto cabinets, money missing, bottle caps going from bottom of trash to inside kitchen cupboards in a pile every night, I woke one morning to baby powder all over the dark blue rug all through the house. In 4 separate spots in the guest bedroom, written in powder, it said, "Dead," in all caps. We moved shortly thereafter. Okay, this sentence is a little funky, but I'm gonna do my best to read it. Several years after moving in that small town, we were advised that the people who lived there before us, she had cared for her husband with a terminal illness for years, and then eventually drowned herself in the canal behind the house. That's really sad. It's never talk enough about people who take care of people with terminal illnesses or lifelong illnesses and like the toll that it takes on caregivers, so that is really sad. Be New Biz, which is like be new BZ. Try my best, right? When I was in the 7th grade, my family, 2 parents, my younger sibling, and me, moved into a house that had been built 5 years before that, but had 2 families live in it and move out before us. Within the first month of moving in, my parents had gone out to dinner one night and had left $20 in the counter for pizza for my brother and I. I had been in the neighborhood skateboarding and thought my brother was home. As I walked up to the front door and went in to open it, I looked straight ahead into the living room and saw someone standing there, staring at me. The door had bamboo slats covering the window, so it was hard for me to make out a face. I stood there a moment and stared, and then the person quickly walked into my parents' bedroom. As I opened the door, I thought to myself, that must be my brother. So as I went in, I called his name and walked to my parents' bedroom. As I got closer, I noticed it was pitch black in there. I got a sinking feeling, knowing this certainly hadn't been my brother that I had seen. I ran outside and asked my neighbor, who was shooting hoops, if he had seen my brother, and he stated he had, and he was down the road at a friend's house. I panicked and explained what I had saw and asked my neighbor's father to call the police. The police came and my parents rushed home, only to find that no one was in the house, and even the $20 was left on the counter. We thought it must have been an intruder, but this was the first of many sightings. And we soon realized it wasn't intruders in our house, but something far worse. I would be moving. I would call a priest. I would be moving. I would be out of there. Aggressive help 4330 writes, this one house was messed up. You'd feel the energy shift. The lights would dim, then go bright in one room. The phone rang at 3:15 every night. Okay, wait. This is a Hello Kitty pumpkin face mask, and I'm really excited because it looks real cute. Hold on, aggressive help. 2 seconds. Wait. Look at it. Oh my gosh. Can you see that in the eye? It's like, I bopped it. Oh, she's wet. Wait. This face mask is wet. Is this scary or? Look at the kitty. Okay, back to aggressive help. This one house was messed up. You'd feel the energy shift. The lights would go dim, then go bright in one room. The phone rang at 3:15 a.m. every night. I moved the phone out of my room. The lights would be on when after I shut them. I'm assuming that means the lights would turn back on after this person turned them off. One light would be on in my room in the middle of the night. The cat was, there's a cat in this story. There's a cat on my face. The cat was a spaz and jumpy. The best was when I brought a Ouija board into the mix. Rookie mistake. I started to feel the planchette vibrate and I raised my hands above it. It started to move without contact. I don't care if you believe me or not. It happened. With a witness. I'm assuming the cat. Shortly after my mom passed, not related to paranormal stuff, the house amped up to daily things, and I was a nervous wreck. I had so many weird things happen over my lifetime. It stopped about 20 years ago with one isolated accident at my parents' home. I'll never touch one of those boards again. That phone was ringing right out of a scary movie. Yeah, well, literally everyone says don't touch them. Again, you won't catch me touching one. I look insane. Supreme Salt Lord writes, in my house I grew up in, I was in the bathroom. My family were all outside. Suddenly I heard your mom. Suddenly I heard hooves walking from my room to my sister's room. I'd never been so scared. My heart was racing. The walk was very slow and gallant, and the gait was wide. The sound seemed to echo through my body. I called out to my sister, hoping she would laugh and it would be a prank, but silence met my calls. I opened the bathroom and my room was dark, and so was hers. I was afraid to go into her room, so I decided to go outside. I feel like I've definitely done that as a child. Like, I would scare myself in my house. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just go outside. If I didn't see her outside, then I knew she was playing a prank. I went outside and stood by the door. My heart dropped as everyone came walking down the street back home. It's a very long road, and if she were to run, I would see her. When everyone went inside, I pulled my mom to the side and I asked if my sis was with them the entire time. My mom is the most honest person I know. It's hard for her to lie, even during surprise parties, which are difficult for her. She told me yes, my sis was with them the entire time. Yeah, I don't like that. I thought I knew this next person. The name and like the profile picture, I was like, do I know you? I don't think I know this person. M. Paige Barnes writes, I've never been afraid of ghosts, but I've always believed them to be real. However, the last house I owned always gave me the feeling I was being watched, even after this incident. About 2 months after moving in, I was randomly woken up in the middle of the night by a very tall and boxy shadow figure that looked like a person standing in the bedroom doorway. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. Have you guys ever seen Gerald's Game? That movie scared the shit out of me. Mainly because of that scene where that thing's like licking her toes. I'm gonna have to watch like a happy movie before I go to sleep tonight because anyways, I felt he was a male and that he was curious. His head almost reached the top of the 7-foot door frame. Very wide shoulders and completely solid. You could not see through the figure. I opened my eyes and the figure stood there for maybe 1 second before sliding silently and completely out of the frame to the right, which led to the living room. At the time we had an indoor camera, so I woke my now ex-husband up and we checked the camera in the living room and nothing. There was no other way out except to be in direct shot of the camera. I've since done research and decided this figure was called a shadow person. After moving out of this house 3 years later, I never felt that uncomfortable being watched feeling again. Yeah, they always say like what houses hold energy. I believe that. Wow! Look at that dude. Look at that dude. Look at that dewy skin. Deleted wrote, I lived in a haunted house from 2009 to 2013. Here are my experiences. They weren't so much terrifying, more just so surprising. First day in the house, I was home alone, and in the back empty sunroom, when a male voice, as if he was standing right next to me, said, what are you doing here? It was shocking. Damn. Okay, sir. I just put a down payment on this house. The fuck? Excuse me? Then another time, I was in the lounge room early one morning on my laptop when something caught my attention in the corner of my eye. I look up and at the double glass French doors that led to the lounge room and saw a solid black shadow man standing there, who then proceeded to walk across the lounge room and disappeared. When I would walk up the hallway at night, I had to pass the kitchen, where I'd often see a shadow person standing in the kitchen behind the kitchen counter. I hadn't told anyone this until my sister was staying over one night and asked me if my house was haunted. And then I told her a few things, and she said she had seen a shadow person in the kitchen too. As we were talking about the strange things that I had experienced, something caught my eye above me near the ceiling. So look up to see a glowing white ball of light about the size of a grapefruit spiral up and into the ceiling. Then my sister asked me if I had just seen the glowing orb too. You guys are better than me. I mean, like, what? I get it. I get it. You buy a house, you move in, you make the payments, you can't just get out, but I think I'm crazy. I think I would have to get out. In the house, I once dreamt fully vividly that the back door was wide open. I woke and went to check it, and it was indeed wide open, leading to the pitch black backyard. This made me get the shivers. Another time I awoke only to turn my head and see that I was above my chest drawers. Huh? Wait. Another time I awoke only to turn my head and see that I was above my chest of drawers, levitating 6 feet in the air, halfway up the 12-foot ceiling. Okay, my blankets were draped off of me. Then I free fell / dropped onto my bed and bounced 3 times. It's not funny, it's just actually insane. I panicked, but I couldn't get out of bed as the draped blankets had scrunched up underneath me as I had fallen onto the bed. That made my heart race. Oh, me slapping myself being scared. When I was moving out, I was in the empty house alone by myself, vacuuming a bedroom, when I saw a person walk past the bedroom doorway and into the bathroom. I quickly went to go see, and there was no one there. I don't understand how people can see those things and then just like keep keep staying there. Crazy. Amazonian Chicana, I think that's how you say that, right? Not necessarily haunted, but I had attachments. I'd always see child-sized shadows running across the hall from my bathroom to my kitchen, usually one at a time. I've had friends catch it on FaceTime and tell me later because they didn't want me to get scared in the moment. Always child-sized shadows, no taller than the counter. It happened often enough, and I knew I wasn't seeing shit. Every time I went to the bathroom, I'd hear scratching and tapping on the ceiling above me. Kind of like a kid tapping a toy on the floor or something. And no, not coming from the apartment above me. I mean, literally over my head. I could hear the difference, only when I was in the bathroom though. I ended up getting help clearing the spirits and never heard / seen anything from that day on. It was pretty eerie, TBH. This is the first story where someone's like gotten help. Everyone else is like, this is someone else's problem. I'm out of here. Which, am I judging? No, but I think I would want to get help personally because sometimes when you move, they're attached to you. I also stayed in a hotel in Gallup, New Mexico once, and I felt like I was being watched all night. I intuitively kept looking at one specific corner, like I knew there was something there. It didn't want me there. I could feel it. I had to sleep with the TV on, and I can't stand sleeping with noise, but I was genuinely comfortable. Every time I woke up, I could just feel this energy from the corner. My mom later told me that there's a lot of Native Americans who were killed in that area, so they might still be pretty pissed off. That was a night I'll never forget. Thank God it didn't fuck with me. I've only stayed in a hotel by myself truly once, like checked in by myself and then stayed in the room one night by myself, and I have an active imagination. I can scare the shit out of myself, and I did. I called my mom crying. I was like, I'm scared. She was like, hey, you signed up for this. I was like, I know. Yeah, I was scared. I think that's a decent one to end on. My skincare is done. Look at me. Look at me. I'm shiny. I will put down below everything that I used. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and comment what I should do my next skincare with a scare on. I was thinking about the Appalachian Mountain stories, like the Appalachian Mountains, because there's some fuck shit that happens in the App Mountains. I don't know what's going on down there. I was thinking about that, like reading a Reddit thread on that, or literally maybe we do some more haunted house stories, some more ghost things. You let me know. Thanks again so much for watching my first skincare with a scare, and I will see you here next time. As always, stay spooky, my friends. Bye.